Oh, hello. All right. So Taurians, let's go. Taurians. I'm sorry, Gemini. Sorry, I just did the Taurus video. This is for Gemini. Forgive me, guys. All right. So we're going to take a look at what is our Gemini character leaving behind. And then where are they going? Since we've got a galloping horse and we see the wind is in its hair and we see obvious motion here, I think that the most important thing is what is a character leaving behind first off. So we've got a 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. This Gemini is letting go of indecisive energy. They could be letting go of something that they weren't sure about, even though something might have been sure about them. We have an 8 of Wands. We've got a Prince of Wands. And we got a Queen of Swords. It's like, I feel like Gemini was uncertain about someone that didn't quite match with them, someone who maybe communication was difficult with, or they wanted Gemini to do all the heavy lifting in this relationship. And I feel like there was a lot of confusion. There was a spark, but maybe it was minimal. I don't know if they were dealing with somebody who still technically wanted to always be free and single, but still wanted to be involved with Gemini, but Gemini was like, I feel like this person's like a rolling stone that gathers no moss. I feel like they're always there's too many paintbrushes here. Let me just put it that way. There's too many paintbrushes, and then this is kind of a weak bond because it's only coming from a page. Yes, there's a spark. Yes, this person is hot. Yes, they think Gemini is hot. But there's this element where I think Gemini is saying, but do I really want to be with somebody where maybe we only vibe in one small area? The other way I could look at this is Gemini might be saying, there's so many things that I want to share with a partner, so many areas of life, of conversation, but maybe this person, you notice how there's only one paintbrush that's actually touching the wheel at all, and it's kind of right off to the side. It almost seems like I think this was just some passion. I mean, I think there wasn't a lot of depth to this, whatever this connection was. And I think that the Gemini knew it. I think that they're saying, I realize after plenty of conversation, maybe the only way that this person knows how to communicate or conversate is with passion, flirtation stuff. And in all honesty, I need a more intellectual match. If, that's going to get old real fast. If the only thing somebody ever matches me in is flirty passion, but what about all the other ideas and thoughts? And then what if they're just flirty with every person they meet because that's the only way they know how to communicate? It's almost like I'm sorry, this sounds so judgy, but it's almost like Gemini is saying, I don't know that this character has evolved beyond. Okay, let me say it like this, because this is what's in my head. At a certain point, like when babies are growing and they get control of their hands, and then their little eyeballs work really good, and then pretty soon they're like stunned by their own hands, and they like poke their nose with their fingers before they realize, oh, I control those things. And then when they realize that they have grabbers, then they want to grab everything. They grab your hair, they grab the dog's hair, they grab your clothes, they grab garbage on the ground, and they are exploring. Then they realize they can put stuff into their mouth, and that's their primary drive, is everything they grab needs to go in the mouth. There's a time frame where during maturation and growth, there are certain things that we get really hyper focused on because it's like a new skill set that we're learning. The only thing is, this character seems to have been, from Gemini's perception, they're like still hyper focused only on flirty talk or sexy time. And it's like, but they don't seem to realize that there's so much more. So all of their conversation is I want to grab flesh. How many different ways can I say that? And it's like, okay, it was fun, it was flirty at first, but now where's the rest? Where's the meat and the potatoes? Where's the intellectual common ground? Where's the other pieces of a relationship that we can build? Because it sounds crazy, but it's almost like this Gemini is leaving behind the idea that that they've got to keep dealing with someone that just doesn't satisfy other areas of their life. But at the same time, they're releasing the idea that they have to first have an intellectual connection in order to enjoy the company of someone. It's more like this Gemini is saying, listen, there are different people in this world that I will meet who I will connect with at different levels. Sometimes it will just be a passionate level. And no, that probably isn't enough for me to stay long time or long term, but they are an experience that I had. Not everything has to be super intellectual, but also I can't have the absence of all the other things that I want. So it's almost like this Gemini is relaxing their rules, regulations, and expectations. So basically what I'm trying to get at is they're not crestfallen and feeling like, oh, this person, they're just, all they are is a flirt and I just don't want to deal with that. They're not good enough. No, they're saying what they are is a flirt. They're hyper focused on that. Ultimately, it may not be enough for me, but that's okay. I wanted some flirt. So I made some flirt with them and it was awesome. I don't have to only have intellectual pursuits and only bond to people that could be my, like a career focused and we're very, everything is like super intense that we discuss and that we're always making plans and I don't have to be all or nothing. I don't have to be one or the other. I can actually have experiences and then I can still let them go as I keep morphing and changing what it is that I want. I think this is a Gemini who is not forcing themselves to pick a category. Either I only can be intellectual or I wind up just, pursuing passion. I think that they're realizing I can have both of them at different points in time. I can pursue different the twins. The Gemini needs both. They probably will always need and want the emotional stimuli and the physical stimuli. They'll probably always want and need both. They're never going to be all or of one or all of the other. But I think that they're leaving that behind, thinking that somehow they had to judge themselves harshly if they were just pursuing, a physical relationship, or judging themselves harshly for, like, oh, it can only be an emotional one and that the intellectual connection has to come first. I think they're leaving all of those rules and regulations in the past because it's never black or white. It's just gray. What they're moving toward is a Four of Swords. I wonder if this Gemini has held themselves to a very unbelievably high standard where it's like, I'm supposed to know exactly what I want. I'm supposed to have it. And I'm supposed to go after it. And I never should make a mistake. They're realizing maybe that's a really old, outdated idea. And maybe that comes from some wound. Maybe I had a really high expectation that I placed upon myself. No breathing space, no ability to change my mind because of an old wound. Because this is them moving toward healing, but they're healing something in a mummy's casket. So something very, very old. It's really nice, though, that this is a character freeing themselves from too high of expectations that they placed on themselves. I think this is a character who's really going to heal and let themselves explore and just be okay with, I won't always get it right. I'm not always sure about what I want. Look at the Seven of Cups. Talk about exploring. Four of Cups in the reverse. Our Gemini is moving toward healing a very, very old wound. They're moving toward allowing themselves to not have all the answers, to get comfortable not knowing, to get comfortable with variety, to get comfortable saying, maybe I want to date people I've never thought about dating before. Maybe I just want to be super open. Maybe I just want to see what happens. Maybe I don't even want to know what's going to happen. I'm just going to roll with it. And am I going to feel like, oh my God, I've made a mistake? Am I going to punish myself every time I do anything that doesn't turn out perfect? Am I going to hang my head in shame? No. Why would I have so many regrets? Whose life is this anyways? Mine. Don't I have a right to figure out what I want, to sample different things? And it could even be, maybe this is a Gemini who's going to discover, truth be told, maybe I don't even want a particular relationship. Maybe I want to be single and I want to have short-lived relationships. I want to be able to say, I go out for a cup of coffee with this person. You're pretty cool. I'm not sure that I'm ready to date monogamously any one person, just so you know. But if you're okay with that, then cool. Let's maybe see each other again. In the meantime, yeah, I am seeing other people. They might want that relationship and they might be able to say to themselves, why can't I do that? As long as there's no harm, no foul, as long as they're transparent with everybody else that they're not sure about what they're looking for just yet. And they might still be keeping their options open and they're honest about that with every person they interact with. How is that going to garner them like, heartbreaker status? Or, it just looks like they're allowing themselves to live outside of the boxes that they used to put themselves into, and especially the really stringent rules and regulations of what they thought they had to be or not be. All of this is just allowing a character to figure themselves out and recognize that they may walk in more than one world. This could be a Gemini who has, it's funny though, because we have a Four of Wands and we have a Three of Wands in the reverse. Right now, what would make their life really happy and really stable is only for right now. And I say that because Three Wands is in the reverse. Instead of looking at the future, they're only looking at the present. Maybe they're only looking at the next 4 days, the next 4 hours. Four of Wands is what would really make my life balanced. What can I commit to right now? I can commit to the fact that I don't know what I want, so I want to explore. That right now is what I want permission to do. That would make me the happiest. That would make me feel most balanced. The fact that right now, I don't answer to anybody. Right now, nobody's calling me their boyfriend, their girlfriend. Nobody's laying claim to me. Nobody gets to demand that I have to act a certain way in order to be with them. I don't want to deal with all that right now. That's what it looks to me like this character is saying. I don't want too strict. I don't want too loosey-goosey. I just don't want anybody laying claim to me at the moment. That would suit me really well because I got to give myself some freedom. I think that this is a Gemini who's maybe lived a pretty rigorous, high expectation life, maybe in their career path, including their personal relationships. Maybe they were raised that way, and they're just dialing down the pressure here and letting themselves figure out who they are and what they really want. That's I think the best way for me to say this. Two of Swords, and we got the Knight of Discs. They are definitely, they're breaking old patterns, but it's as patterns are revealed to themselves. This is like they're powering up. They're finding their personal power because we've got the Jaguar here, we've got the Mayan calendar, and back here we've got a temple that's projecting light into the cosmos. And the Two of Swords, we usually say, oh, that's a card of like blockages. This is not really blockages. It's cutting through the blockages, but first having to see what they are, see what the patterns were, and then cut new patterns into those pre-existing patterns. I just feel like our character is saying, I will slowly figure out what it is that I want. I will reshape my expectations for myself. And when I figure out what I want without pressuring myself, I will feel more empowered every step of the way because I gave myself the freedom to not know what it was I wanted, to not think I had to reach some huge intellectual height in my career path. I had to find an intellectual mate, or that now I've deprived myself of physical connection so much, then I'm going the opposite direction. Now I only have a physical connection, but now I'm ashamed because, gosh, what is this? This is just physical. There's no emotional connection. It's like they kept swinging one pendulum side or the other, and it wasn't allowing our character to just sort out what they wanted without any kind of shame or guilt. That's what I think. It's really nice because I think this Gemini is realizing just how unique they are, what they're actually going to be looking for. You notice how the pattern that they're cutting through and reshaping turns out to be a snowflake. I think that there is no one on earth like this Gemini. Therefore, nobody else's set of rules and regulations, maybe not even societal rules and regulations, are going to quite fit this character. They may be recognizing that they are more of a child of the cosmos. They just kind of want the freedom to kind of get in that cosmic flow, and who they're drawn to for whatever the reason may be. They just want to kind of roll with that. They don't want to label it. They don't want to define it too much. They want to let themselves be open to the things that they feel are now a part of their journey, the things that they're supposed to learn. And I think they're just really much more accepting of their evolution. I mean, this maybe they're never going to marry. Maybe they're never going to have one particular relationship. Maybe they're like, I realize it's not even what I'm about. Maybe I'm not about romance in traditional ways. Maybe what I want is a group of like kindred souls around me. Maybe what I'm really looking for is a pursuit of more like of a spiritual family than a romantic intimate relationship with any one person. It could be very different. My point is, I'm throwing that out there just because it's so different to think of it that way. They are unique. However, this character defines love and defines what it is that they want for themselves, it won't be according to the standards that they used to try to adhere to, or that others made them feel like they had to adhere to. This is a Gemini who is too unique to do what everybody else does. And I think trying to fit oneself into, like, imagine being 7 feet tall, but there's not a whole lot of 7-footers out there. So all of a sudden you don't fit in the normal cars that are available to buy on the car lot. You don't fit into the normal couches and beds that are for sale. You got to start shopping at the big and tall store, right? You got to go to specialized places because you don't quite fit the mold. That's basically what this is. Only in this case, it could be a pretty like spiritually large character, and all their life they've been trying to squish their soul into a much smaller space, and it just wasn't clicking. It wasn't working, no matter what they tried. I'm 6 feet tall, so my brother is like 6'5", and just a massive human being in general. And it's really funny to see him try to cram into certain cars, and his head is on the ceiling and he's leaned back and contorted. It's pretty funny because it's like no matter how much you arrange yourself, if it's too small, it's still too damn small. Get out and go get a different car. Like that's the image that comes to mind. This Gemini is not going to try to squish themselves into some place that they don't belong. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave that there. Oh, Barbara Hill, how are you, sweetheart? I'm so honored you popped by. Great to see you. All right, you guys, don't forget that tonight, late, I will be posting a video where I will be going over what we're doing for the Christmas party that'll be on December the 1st. The reason you don't want to miss this video is because I decided I wanted to show everybody what the prizes are this year so you can enter to win without having to be present on December 1st. December 1st, I'll announce all of the names, but don't miss the video that I'm putting out. Now, you'll have a whole week to watch it before we get to December 1st. Well, I guess, what is that, Friday? Today's Monday. So you have 5 days. But I just wanted to give everybody a chance because people are all around the world in different time zones and all of that. And I didn't want anybody to be denied the chance to win a prize. So watch for that video to post tonight or anytime that you got free time in the next couple days. And then December 1st, I will go live. I'll announce all the winners' names, and you really need to watch that one, but you'll see all that later on tonight. I'll explain it all. All right, guys, take care. Bye for now. Oh, and thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.